So, hi guys, welcome to English Made Simple. I am Sima. I'm an English teacher from Morocco. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Well, as I said, I'm an English teacher. In fact, I studied English literature for 5 years here in Morocco, in university. And not just William Shakespeare, but many other writers too. Okay, well, I have been teaching online for 2 years, and I have had students from many different countries, and I've helped them with grammar, vocabulary, speaking, and just overall to improve their English. If you'd like private lessons with me, please leave a message below and I will contact you. Great. So that's a little bit about me. Well, now in today's video, we're going to talk about how to improve your English and about learning a foreign language. And we are going to speak to Alex, who is a polyglot. What is a polyglot? It means a person who knows many languages. So, your first question, Alex. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you, Sima. Well, my name is Alex. I was born in São Paulo, Brazil, where I currently live, and I have got experience on language learning, teaching, coaching, and mentoring for over 20 years. And my story started a little bit uh, uncommon for many people because when I was 14, I had my first contact with English, but actually I didn't have a good experience. I wasn't succeeded because I didn't have a good course at that time, and I must admit that I wasn't that stimulated to learn English because it was too much grammar, and phrasal verb, and I couldn't get motivated to learn. So I stopped learning English, and when I turned 21, I didn't understand why I was speaking just one language. And I was feeling myself like in a bubble in Brazil, that the world is like another world for me,
Yes.
because of that, the fact that I was just speaking one language. So I decided to learn another language, and of course, English was my first choice. But at the same time, I thought myself, why only English? Why not other languages? As I didn't have results, as I didn't have any answer for that question, I decided to learn another one, Spanish. Almost at the same time, I was like um, reviewing something that I had already studied in English. So after like 2 years, I was able to speak five languages, but I made a huge mistake because I thought by speaking three Romance languages, I could learn five languages at the same time by speaking five, and I couldn't learn these five. I stopped learning language, but in the last 4 years, I got stimulated to learn again because of internet. We are in the golden era of language learning because if we
Yes.
compare today with 30, 40, 50 years ago, it's amazing. It's much easier to learn language nowadays, you know. So in the last
Yeah.
4 years, I could learn 4 languages and master other 6 because of this time. So I must say to you who is learning a language, we are in the best moment in the mankind history to learn a language. So if you don't want to learn, okay, but don't give any excuses. I'm sorry. It's the
Yes,
truth.
I definitely agree with you. Yeah, indeed. Moving to our next question. So, Alex, what is your favorite, your advice, sorry, what is your advice for everyone watching on how to learn a foreign language?
Well, uh, the best advice is to leave your comfort zone, you know, because every time we don't do it, we we don't improve really. We are always going to be in this plateau, and this is not good. So, if you are learning another language, focus on this target language as much as possible without using two language all the time. So, this is my best piece of advice for language learning among others.
Yes, and this is a precious advice from you. Moving to the next question. What is more important in your opinion, grammar or speaking practice?
Definitely speaking practice, because grammar we're going to learn over the time. You know, speaking is key for contacts. You know, we're going to make more friends. We're going to have a better network. It's going to be even more effective for everything in life. Grammar, you know, it's just to make us speaking with a better cohesion. That's all.
Yes, definitely. Um, the next question is how can people memorize new vocabulary?
Well, I would say that to learn new words, it's the best advice to learn new words is to use the knowledge you have already to achieve to this new vocabulary. So every time you want to know a new word, try to do your best to use the language you are learning instead of translating, instead of use your mother tongue or whatever language you are learning. I have seen many people when they are learning even the third, fourth, fifth language, they are insisting in using a two language. And let's say I have been to many group practice conversation groups on Zoom, on Meet Google, on Ditmitsi, and other places that people are learning and improving. And what do? They definitely use English every time they don't know a new word, and this
Yes,
is not good.
yes. So think in the language you're learning.
Exactly.
It's the best way to memorize.
Hmm.
Moving to our next one. What is more effective, reading books or watching films or TV shows?
Well, I must say that these activities stimulate our both receptive skills, listening and reading. There's both skills. The information comes to us. So um, to improve one of them, it's necessary to use the other and vice versa. I must say that actually all the 4 skills are interacted, you know, speaking, writing, listening, and reading. So both are, 2 of them are receptive and the other 2 are productive skills. The information leaves us. Or in other words, some teachers like to say output and input. So I must say
Yes,
that both are important.
Yes, definitely. So it actually helped me when I tried to learn French after learning English. What I did was watching TV shows in French, and my first one was Friends, the show Friends. So I would watch it in French, but the subtitle is in English. And I did the opposite thing, the vice versa of it. So I would watch it in English and watch the French subtitles. And I read a lot of French books, and it actually helps a lot with memorizing. And when someone talks in French, I can hear the language instead of, oh my God, what is he saying, or what is she saying? So moving to our next question. What is the next language you would like to learn, Alex?
Well, actually, I am already learning Chinese.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been studying Chinese for 3 months, and well, Chinese is easier than I thought, or less difficult than I thought. I guess the pronunciation is difficult, but the grammar is a piece of cake, so it's quite easy. And
mhm.
I guess uh, it's the language of future, of course, and
Yes, definitely.
we need to be interactive with this world because I think China is going to open to the world every year. They are going to be more and more capitalist, and this socialism of the past is going to leave, and then it's going to be more open. And of course, they are going to contact the world, and they are buying everything in many places.
Yes, definitely. Let's see the questions in the chat box. So Brenda's asking, Alex, my students often ask me for tips on practicing speaking English when they're not in class, without their classmates. What kind of advice could you give to people who are in this situation?
You mean speaking?
Yeah, practice speaking, but well, now we're in lockdown and we cannot be with people and we're home most of
Well,
the time.
very good question, by the way.
Yes.
Actually, the lockdown makes us far from each other, but on the other hand, made close to each other here on the internet, which is faster, which make people even closer everywhere. We don't need to leave home to take a bus to go or to take the tube. So I think it's much easier. It's even easier to practice speaking. Just be tuned, stay tuned, know the right platforms, the right places, connect the right groups, interact, network.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Brenda. So moving to our last question, Alex. So what is better to learn, English, British English or American English?
Well, I've got a British accent because I think I'm sensitive to it, and I've got a background there. I lived there a long time ago, but I have been back for over 20 years. And
Mhm.
I like to say that I came back from for a long time that I think I forgot where the Big Ben is, you know. But the point is, even after these years, I still get more from Britain than American English or from America. But I must say that English is a language, and I don't have that references. I think is essential to respect differences and, and avoid censoring all the people because they speak with a different accent.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I still have two more questions actually. So,
Okay.
um, what has been the most difficult language that you have learned?
Well, many people don't believe, but it's English. English is
Oh
the most
God.
difficult. Why? Because my first foreign language didn't have any reference, you know. And
Yeah.
it took me over 4 years to learn English in a communication level. It took me 2 years and a half to learn German at the same level, 1 year and a half Russian, and 1 year Dutch. So the more you learn, the easier it becomes. And apart from that, English pronunciation is quite difficult. I have never met any language so difficult to pronounce like English. Okay, this is a
Mhm.
long discussion, but well, that's English.
Yes, that's a code to remember. The more you learn, the easier it becomes. So, guys, remember that. So my next question is, how can we master the pronunciation of a different language?
Okay. Well, there are several ways to do it. Uh, First, by speaking. We are not going to improve our pronunciation if we don't start speaking. The second one is to record your voice after listening, especially for beginners. You know, if you record the voice and compare to the native speaker, you can get in close. Of course, many people want to be like perfect native speaker, but they need to be aware they won't be native speaker, but they can get closer to it.
Yes, yeah. And I actually have several friends that don't want to speak because they're about, let's see, insecure about their pronunciation and they avoid to speak in English, and it's the way they will learn English, and that is so bad for them. So this is a very good advice from you. So, Alex, what advice would you give the teachers around the world on how to improve the way that they teach English and make their lessons better?
Okay. Well, I don't know if I can recommend to teachers anyway, but I think um, as an English teacher, you need to focus on how you can achieve your students or your clients by their origins. Or, for instance, if they are from by group of language, I would say, from a Slavic country, or for Romance, or for Semitic, this kind of
Mm,
language would be interesting to have an idea. But I guess one of the best things that I would recommend is to know yourself. I mean, what kind of person you are. Because, for instance, I haven't been teaching exactly. I am now I'm coach and mentor, which is different from teaching. I've got a different approach to do it, and I would say that nobody is exactly the same or of others, because many people think that there's just one way to learn a language, and actually, that's not. For instance, Steve Kaufman, who is one of the best, one of the biggest polyglots around the world, he's quite respected. He's one of my inspiration, and he says that he learned a language by listening, and then speaking. There are other people who don't agree, and even though they learn. So
yes.
I think we need to know ourselves, even psychologically, in order to know our best way to learn.
Yes, definitely. So, here is my next question. How relevant it is for students in high schools to learn English novels and literature? I mean, students in non-English speaking countries like Brazil, Italy, Japan, etc. Is it useful for them to read Shakespeare plays?
Well, I think it depends on what they want to do. If they want to follow this academic literature place, or something like that, of they are really sensible with literature, so it's good. But for instance, me, I'm sorry, but I hate literature. I don't like it. I didn't learn it because I didn't have any problem. I didn't have any success on learning literature. But there are people who love it. So you need to look for what
Yes.
you like to learn and then take advantage of it. There are some people who like astronomy or any, so you need to use topics that you really like to learn a language effectively. But how I would say that at least in Brazil, this is not the point that makes our language learning awful here, unfortunately. The point here that we are in a monolingual culture. 95% of Brazilians cannot speak any language but Portuguese. 1% of Brazilians speak English fluently. So actually, it's what is necessary here is to make people conscious of its importance. And there is political stuff and a lot of things, social consciousness that unfortunately I think I won't be here anymore to see a bilingual country. I'm sorry.
Yes. Personally, when I started learning English, I didn't start with Shakespeare plays or anything big, but I started with short stories, sometimes kid shows, short stories for kids to make them sleep. So I started with these. They are more fun and they keep you want to learn more, want to read more, because English is simple. You can read, you can understand, and you can have fun reading. So the big plays or big books are for later when you have actually some vocabulary you can use and you have some vocabulary in your mind. So
Mhm.
that's when you it's I think it's better to read those books. So
Okay,
my next
let
question
just put
is,
me just can I have uh,
yeah, sure.
one word on that comment here? When I said I hate literature, I don't hate the stories exactly, but I don't understand the theoretical part of literature. To understand its time. But of course, there are several nice books to read, like uh, like the ones you said, or for instance, by scientific literature, I like it. Chariots of the Gods from Eric von Daniken. So these are very nice.
Yes. Let's see what Marcus said. A friend of mine suggested that we practice watching American movies and series without subtitles. So, what do you think of that?
Very good question. Watching films without subtitle are nice. It's nice. Watching films with subtitles is quite nice, but I would say that it's not enough from my point of view. We can start by watching it like that, and then for the second time, we see the subtitles in the target language. And for the third time, would be nice if you um, analyze the keywords of this film in order to learn or improve the language according to your level. Marcos, his name, right? I'm sorry.
Yes, Marcus, and he's
Marcos.
Italian. Yes.
Ah, Marco, ciao, come stai? Tutto bene? Un saluto.
And he said something else. So his question, and so the problem is that when they speak, oh, sorry. So I'm quite good to understand written English, but I have some American friends, and I wish I could speak to them in a voice chat. The problem is that when they speak, I cannot understand their pronunciation, What is the most effective way to improve my understanding?
Yeah, this is a tough spot. Uh, well, actually, I what I do, but I don't think if you can do or no. But I try to offer something to this person, my language, and in exchange. And how do you do that? There are a lot of communities on the internet, such as Tandem, such as Interpol, such as Language Exchange, where I meet Jay London, and all the places. Well, I'm here because of these, you know,
Yes,
because of these places, these sites here on the internet.
yeah, definitely. So, moving to my next questions. How do language learners deal with the difference between standard versions of a language and a dialect?
Wow.
Um, I mean, you speak French, and as you know, Quebecan French is very different from the French in France, or the
Mhm.
different dialects of English, Spanish, or other languages.
Mhm. Okay, that's a good question as well. By the way, there are a lot of good questions here. I would say that uh, we need to focus on the language more than dialects. A long time ago, I was worried about details of dialects and I got lost. The point is, when we start talking to these different people, for instance, in French, every Friday I have a meeting from Meetup site that I meet people from Canada, from Quebec, by the way, from 7 to 9 um, Brazil time. I don't know where you are, guys, but for 2 hours we practice French with 40 different people in breakout rooms. We break the rooms. There's a system of Zoom, and we can practice French a lot with native and non-native speakers, and try to show your culture to these people. It's different. They want to know about Brazil because they don't know our reality and they are curious about. So this is
Yes.
another strategy as well.
Yeah, it is very a good strategy. Okay, guys, we're going to finish the podcast now. Thanks to our guest Alex for his contribution. I really enjoyed this and listening to Alex. And thanks to our viewers for watching. Please like the video, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Just a reminder, I am Sima, a professional English teacher. I usually charge $10 an hour for private lessons, but I can do a lower price. My students really enjoy my lessons and have improved a lot with my help. So book a lesson with me now before others do. My email is selimasunia8@gmail.com and burazdak2020@gmail.com. And it's also in the description below. Okay, guys, thanks. See you next
Excuse
week
me,
and
Sima.
have a
Excuse
great
me,
day.
Sima. Excuse me. Can
Yeah,
I say
sure.
something?
Yeah,
I'd
sure.
like to tell you guys that if you want to get in touch with me, I'm going to leave my description here on my contacts on the description of this video. And if you want to get
Yeah.
in touch for more questions because we don't have time, I'll be in touch with you. Thank you.
We also have Alex's channel down there in the description below. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Alex. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye bye. See you.